Welcome, everyone. We are live. Hello, Mo. I see you. We are live today, and it's, wait, Thursday? Oh, hallelujah. We on the home stretch. We are on the home stretch. Listen, curiosity, the cat, and you. See, being curious about how things work is always a great place to start. This sense of wonderment, the sense of awe, the sense of this could really work out. See that part right there? Wait, this could really work out? Well, I want to see. I want to see. I believe this can work out. If that is what you apply, you're applying the principles because you started where you should start. You know you want something to work. You don't know how, and this is where curiosity comes in. You don't know how. You cannot possibly see all of the ways. And this could work out. You have no idea. You've none other than, well, I need this to work. So because I need it to work, it'll work. But Angela, isn't that wishful thinking? No. You see, when you know the principles, right? Which principle would you think is a good idea? Think about this for a minute. Mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Or correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. Is it vibration? How does it feel to you? Is it polarity? What stage are you moving through? Is it rhythm that you're going to use? Is it cause and effect? Or is it gender? Which one stands out to you when we say this thing's got to work? Right? Well, correspondence is the one you go with. Why correspondence? I mean, you could choose any one. There's no right or wrong answer. I chose correspondence because it is the easier way to go with as within, so without. Meaning, you want to know something, you want to comprehend something. You get the feeling of having comprehended it, having understood it. That's the only thing you know you have. So if you know that that's what you're looking for, the comprehension, if you understood something, if you grasped something, would you not be relieved? Would you not be, whew, relieved that's over? Look at how good that worked out. Shoot, I couldn't have planned that any better than what it is. That's the feeling that you want. And you see, we've all had that feeling before in our lives somewhere. We have all felt, Neville Goddard says, relief mm, is the emotion most keenly felt. Relief. Has something ever worked out for you? And you were just like, holy cow, I didn't think that was going to work out, but get diggity dog, there it is. Whew, that feels good. What a load off. You have felt that way at one point in your life. It does not matter what brought about that feeling, that is irrelevant. What is relevant is the curiosity to say, can I bring that feeling up again? Whenever you ponder your situation, bring up that feeling. Why? Because the brain works by association, as within, so without. So if your problem, your dilemma, you think about it, well, accompany it with a feeling of relief because you're going to associate that thing that is invisible with a relief outcome. That's all you're doing. You're just going to feel that feeling of relief. You felt the feeling of relief before on many occasions. So find it again. Well, we've all felt angry. And all I have to tell you is, man, I don't know about these tariffs, though. I don't know about this. I don't know about how where our country's going. Somebody's going to get mad. Somebody's going to get angry. All I have to do is stimulate you with the right thing to bring about a feeling for you. You can do that yourself. Self-stimulate. Look at what comes to mind. You get it. You see how easy that was right there? All I said was self-stimulate. And there was somebody with a thought somewhere. Oh, yeah, naughty boy. But you see how easy it was? So now when I say, yeah, that's nice. Oh, what a relief. I'm so glad that shit's over. Ugh, I don't ever want to do that again. I'm so glad that's over. You felt it. So all you do is bring up that feeling again, but now associate that feeling with the outcome of your present situation. Simple enough, isn't it? Well, we are already doing it. We're already doing it, yes? So you see, my beautiful friends, some situations may seem as if they are impossible. But the curiosity that should drive you is, look, I know that this craziness works. Pardon me. I know that this craziness works. Ugh, I'm excited to see how this works itself out. I'm excited. See that curiosity right there? That is what you're going for. There's something about curiosity. It draws us in, you know? Curiosity draws us in. And because we are curious, we are open, and we're willing to learn. That's what curiosity does. But sometimes when I get stuck with a situation and I'm like, ugh, I always stop and I say, show me. Because that's what I've always done. And it has always worked. So I stick with it. I just say, show me, because I'm clearly not seeing something. And do you know it works every single time? It doesn't matter if I'm sitting at my desk and I don't understand something. I just, even if I don't move my mouth to speak, I'm like, show me. Like, what am I missing here? What am I not understanding here? Show me. And within moments, pardon me, within moments, I have the solution. Now, there's a way that you do things. There's a way that you do things. Employ that method. Because it's you. It's tried, tested, and true. You've done it forever. Right? Listen, it doesn't even matter if I'm in the grocery store and I can't see something. Because I know I've got it there before, and I know I just can't see it. Maybe they switched the planogram. I don't know. But I just stop and I'm like, oh, show me. And then bam, there it is. I'm like, oh, it didn't appear by magic. It's just that I wanted to see. So now the curiosity to apply the principle should drive you. The curiosity to apply the principle, especially the one of correspondence, as within, so without. If you start generating the feeling of relief in your bosom, right? You're going to have to live out an experience of relief. But which experience of relief? The one that you tie that feeling to. So it's kind of sort of cold, but I know you're still here, so you can get it. You'll hear it. You notice how you came in and you said to me, here's my thing, here's my problem. Now, what if you came in your mind's eye and you said, well, you'll never guess what happened. Look, that crazy thing worked itself out. The very thought of telling the story in that way will bring about the outcome you desire. Why? Because Look at the feelings. This is what we all do in our lives. Look at the feeling you have about the quote unquote dilemma. See how it's heavy in your chest? Don't feel good. I know. But what if you started to tell the story of, oh, you will never guess how this thing worked out. Like, I still can't believe that it worked out. Like, I'm in awe. Like, how the heck did that happen? That's the only part of the story you're gonna tell. Because you know what it is? It's the teaser. It makes you curious to say, well, tell me more. What happened? What the hell happened? You don't know what the story is. You just know you're going to tell the story in such a way that lures the listener. You will never believe what happened. But you're not just telling a story. There's a feeling that accompanies the story as you tell it. Because presently there's a way that you feel right now when you say dilemma. Right? You said dilemma. And see how it feels? Well, now practice how you're going to tell us how it worked out. And all you got to do is start with the holy cow. Girl, I don't know how the hell it happened, but you were right. I did what you said, and look at it. Look at how this worked out. Now, do you see the feeling that is accompanied when you start to tell that story? Right. When you start to tell that story of how your situation, as I said, you do not have to give the details because you don't know them right now. But what you're doing is priming the details. You are priming the details by rehearsing the outcome in your own way, your own personality. Because for me, I'd be like, oh my God, oh, you won't ever guess what happened. Because that's what we do naturally. Somebody pisses you off, and you pick up the phone, you be like, girl, let me tell you, this jerk. This guy just totally pissed me off. Blah, 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 blah," and you start telling the story. And how does the story make you feel when you tell it? You get a little angrier the more you tell it. And then the listener, they chime in and they go, girl, if that was me, well, I would have, you would have seen my 10 fingers all over his face. I would have choked him, blah, blah, blah. And see, now both of you are feeling the same way. And all you did was recite a story. So here is what you say. You begin to tell the story in the way you want it to work. All you know you're going to tell is, holy cow. Whatever that is to you. Because that's what I would say, holy cow, because that's my personality. What's your personality? Would you cuss? Hmm. Yeah, some people wouldn't even say anything. Some people would just sit there with their head in their hands and go, what the hell just happened? Right? So when we talk about curiosity, that desire to test the principles for yourself is one of the greatest things we could ever have. That curiosity to say, holy cow, wait, what do you mean I can change the situation? Nah. You know what? Well, let me try it out. Let me test this foolishness. The curiosity to test it. The curiosity to test it. People say, curiosity killed the cat. Yeah, but satisfaction brought it back. You see, satisfaction is our natural state of being. You're not supposed to be in a state of tension or a state of unrequitedness, if that is a word. Unrequited love. You're thwarted. You can't get release, That's not what you're supposed to be living in because that is unnatural. Every time I need to take a sip of water right now. When I take a sip of water, the first thing I'll say is satisfaction. Because that is the end result for every situation, satisfaction. So are you curious enough to test it for yourself? Shoot, I am. Totally. That's the whole point. That's what gets us, the curiosity. You see, because something's got to, you know, as I use the word lure you. You say, wait, lure me? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, interpretation is a hell of a thing. When something lures you, it rouses you, does it not? It stirs you up. It gets you excited. You say, whoa, 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 wait a minute. What is this here? That's the curiosity. Allow the curiosity to feed you and satisfy you. Because you know the end result is satisfaction. This is not a Rolling Stone situation. The outcome is always satisfaction. I don't make the rules. So if the outcome is always satisfaction, that means what? It means you're in a state of relief. You're always going to be. Listen, like a lady came into the store last night and she was looking for a particular thing. A wine called, screw it. It's pretty good. It's just called screw it. Right? So she's like, you don't have that? I said, nah, the closest thing I got is dirty laundry. And I said, but I understand. Because when you don't get what you're looking for, there's no feeling of satisfaction, isn't there? I said, well, I know exactly where you can find it. And it's only 5 minutes from here. So you go there. She goes, you know what? I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I am going to go there. You see, satisfaction is always the end. So if it's the end, use it to bring about the beginning. Satisfaction is yours. It always has been and it always will be because it is the effect. Satisfaction is an effect, something that happens as a result of you and me putting our minds in the right places. You see what I'm saying? This is what it is. The satisfaction. That's my coworker said to me, Angela, you're right. I'm gonna change my attitude because sometimes I just hate being at work. I said, child, I would rather be laying down in my bed. But it is what it is. I said, I can't come here and be dragging. I said, I'll come and I'm going to enjoy myself because the time goes faster if I enjoy myself. And not fake enjoy myself, but genuinely. And what helps is the music that plays overhead. Every time. If there's a song that comes on, what was on last night? Man, so many good songs were on last night. I'm in the aisle and I'm dancing and I because the song is good. And I said to somebody, see, that's the problem. I never get any work done with all this good music playing. And they say to me, you truly enjoy it. I'm like, of course I do. I said, you can't beat a good song. Like, that's the point. You use everything at your disposal to point you in the direction you want to go in. That's what you do. So, whatever that dilemma or whatever that situation is today that you're presently facing, step 2 tells you what? Because you already know step 1. You already know you want to be free. But step 2 tells you to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were doing step 1. That's what it's doing. And then step 3, well, just immerse yourself in that feeling. You wanted it to be more difficult? Oh my God. I sure as hell don't. Can we take the path of least resistance, please? Because that's what it is. The path of least resistance is to apply the principles. Least resistance, meaning I don't need to fight, man. Aren't you curious about that? That's the part right there. That's the part. And listen, some of these people I see every day. Every time that I'm on, I see these people. Every time. So I know. I know about dilemmas. And a man came in last night and he's like, he put his food down on the counter. I said, how could you? You came all this way and you didn't bring me anything? He goes, girl, I haven't eaten for 3 days. I said, what? He goes, yeah, I was trying to get over my hangover. I was like, oh my God. And he's laughing about it. I said, but do you want to quit? He goes, hell yeah. I said, so why are you getting this one? He goes, hey, I'll stop the shakes. I'm like, if you really want to stop it, I can show you a point. So I showed him. He goes, are you sure that's going to work? And he said, and I said to him, yes. He says, show me again. And he was like, he said to me, I'm curious to see if it works. That's why we're talking about curiosity this morning. Ow. Because he was intrigued enough to test it out for himself. And I said to him, it'll work. He goes, but what if I can't touch my toes? What if I can't reach my toes? I said, well, let's use the principle as above, so below. I said, it's going to be the same spot, but between the fingers instead of between the toes. Just above, that's all. He goes, how do you know all of this? I was like, well, school. He goes, but I'm curious. I said, you should be. I said, when I see you again, let me know. So you see, it was his curiosity that drove him to say, well, yeah, show it to me because I want to do this. And when you're dealing with, because some people handle things a little bit differently. And when you're dealing with a situation like that where they drink all the time, what do? You can't berate them. You can't come down on them to say, oh, you shouldn't be. No. You apply the principle. So you see, I get to share the principles at every turn. Wherever I am, I get to share the principles. Everywhere. And it is usually that curiosity that draws people in. The outcome of curiosity is satisfaction. Cause and effect. That's what it is. So if you're curious today to see how it's going to work if you apply it, you know the outcome. Satisfaction. So if you know the outcome, well then, are you not successful? Oh, oh, I can hear him. He might not be ready yet. Sorry, that's a little bit. So this morning, my beautiful friends, I'm not going to keep you long because I want to get a little bit of a nap because I'm tired. I want to get a little bit of a nap. But I'll tell you something. I applied that principle. I pounded stomach 36 is on the knee. It's by the knee. If you hung up with us at any point, you'd know where that point is. But I pounded on it and I said, look, I said to my body, I said, look, I know you tired. I know you tired. But give me a slow release of energy. That's easy to sustain. You can do this. That's what I told my body. And within like 10 minutes, it wasn't a burst of energy because God, I couldn't handle that. But incrementally, I did feel better. Just slowly but surely, you know? And it's amazing the kind of energy you get when you're going home, right? That the energy that you get when you're going home, you're like, what? I'm awake. This is what happens. So today, allow your curiosity, allow your curiosity to tease you, to tempt you, to tantalize, to lure you, and ask yourself, what would it be like if I told you he was ready? Because I could hear him. What would it be like if this thing worked out? Who's the first person I would tell? How would I tell them? That's what you do. Child, you got to come up from under the couch. Ah. So today, my beautiful friends, I trust that you will apply it. Apply it. Don't look at the clock. You're not racing time. Time is not your focus. Your focus is, can I rouse the feeling of satisfaction and can I sustain it with any amount of feeling? Because what you want to do is leave a hard and fast impression on the brain, right? That's literally what you're doing. So, can you generate the feeling of satisfaction? You've been satisfied at some point in your life somewhere. And if you haven't been, you know somebody who was. You can live vicariously through them. So let me welcome everybody who's here. And that is where I'll leave you this morning after I play the chime. What are you going to do? You're going to experience in imagination what you would be doing if your dilemma were resolved. Who's the first person you would tell? How would you say it? What would their reaction be? Can you sense their reaction? You know them well enough that you know what their reaction would be if you said what you said. And see how it feels? Oh, yeah. See how it feels? But what if you started to argue with that person in your mind's eye and to cuss them out and tell them what you're thinking? How could you leave me in a situation like this? You see how visceral that makes you feel? Oh, shoot. I want you to feel visceral, but the other way. So practice it until it builds within you. Who's here? There's some people in these fan base streets. No, Facebook and YouTube and Twitter streets, fan base. You guys are on my mind, clearly. Glitchy Guy and Shin, I don't even know who you guys are, but welcome. Oh, Pookie. Yeah, I know, sweetie. I know. Welcome to the space, y'all. Yoda Green, hey, I see you in these Twitter streets. Sure do. Now, who's on fan base this morning? We got Miss McQueen, we got KZ, we got Mo, we got Honey, Ray, and Michael. I see y'all's surreal. I can't see you other than what you dropped in the chat, but welcome. So this morning, I have to pull. I was going to do it. When I'm feeling the way I feel right now, I say to myself, get up, Trinity. Get up. You know, she's laying on the ground. She's got the guns pointed in the air because she's laying on her back. She just flew through the window. She's like, get up, Trinity. Get up. Sometimes I lay in bed and I say, get up, Angela. Come on. Get up. And that's what I have to do this morning. Get up, girl. We got places to go. We got to feed them their chickens. And I say, yeah, we got to do it. And then I get this little bit of a rush. And I say, oh, look, let me get up. You got to talk yourself through these things. Hello? Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. And you know I'll see you on the morrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Fanbase. Ow. Much love to each and every one of you. And as you go through the day today, be curious. Can I sustain a feeling of satisfaction and relief? What story do I tell? Well, look at the story you're telling now and see how that makes you feel. Begin to tell a new story and see how that one makes you feel. And remember, in the very beginning, things feel new and so naked and vulnerable. That's just how they feel in the beginning. But once you get comfortable and used to it, oh, well, then it is old hat, isn't it? Hello? Anyhow, I love you all. Much love.